everyone, this is William with CommanderCast.com. Here with game number 1 of Avacyn, the Alpha build with the Homelands edition, quote unquote. This is 4 lands? Wrath of God? Yeah, we'll keep this. And today we are up against Ghoul Caller Gissa, Olivia, Mobilized for War, and Krenko Mob Boss. So right out the gate, Krenko is the one with our targetable crosshairs because Krenko just makes a lot of goblins really, really fast. So we're going to wait for him to try and hit critical mass before he wrath them out. And then we'll see with Olivia, Mobilized by War. Of course, it's a new commander. You're always going to see those for the first few weeks or so. And then we've got, let's see, Ghoul Caller Gissa, which is going to be very interesting for us. So we'll go ahead, lead off with our planes. Then we're going to tap it, F6 the crap out of this. Go to F8. And we're already beginning a little bit of banter into the chat room there, as it were. Olivia disappointed that they kind of ruined everything by not playing a monocolor deck. How dare you? But we are playing mono white, and we are dealing with black and red, and then black red. This is actually not going to be pleasant for us, quite potentially. Alright then, so we've got 5 lands, one of which is in fact an Urza Tower. We've also got the Basalt Monolith, so I'm thinking Basalt Monolith after 2 planes. Let's see, we definitely want to get all 3 of our... Let's see, 4 planes? Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm definitely not convinced by the Urza Tron, the Nat Tron. Tron just doesn't seem to work for us. Let's see. Alrighty then, so... Oh, Krenko starts off with Alter the Brew. That's very, very bad for us. Because we could just... we can't even do anything right now, so we'll just go ahead and pass it. Alright then, so with Alter the Brood... Alter the Brood is a very strong win condition for the Krenko deck, because they can just make a crap ton of goblins. If someone had an intruder alarm, Krenko would actually just go infinite. So if you wanted to play the green-blue goblins deck, that's a good way to get some infinite combo going. Let's see, Gissa gets down her second swamp, goes to pass. Olivia, starting off with her Myriad Landscape, so probably not a lot of color, or potentially going into, let's see, Myriad Landscape turn 1, then turn 2 Soul Ring, popping the landscape would actually be really good, just for some quick mana fixing. Ah, there goes Diamond Valley, which I didn't realize we still had Diamond Valley in here. Oh, boy. Goblin Arsonist, Mog Raider. So we just lost Tormod's Crypt, Diamond Valley. What Olivia lost? We lost Average Demon, Gate Malakir, Callisto Hybrid. Okay, so this is definitely just Olivia, Tribal Vampires. That's whatever. Thran Dynamo, Door of Destinies, Swamp. So probably more zombies. Then let's go ahead and go. Let's see, we can't afford to not play anything. Go ahead, drop a Basalt Monolith. And then we're going to go ahead and F6. Now we've got a card on the board. Keldon Royal Guard. We'll want to get him down next turn. Let's see, we'll have the Dog Forces after that. Sculpting Steel targeting... It's got to be my Basalt Monolith, right? Yeah. So, Sculpting Steel comes down as... Yep, there's the Basalt Monolith. Let's see, we'll have 6, 7 mana. We can get down our Royal Guards. Olivia casts herself. She's coming out. Alright, so Commander's out. We need to get those row guards out. They have some board presence. We got a couple of goblins, but the goblins themselves aren't really doing anything right now. We just lost our force field. We just lost Sarah Angel. So we've kind of lost like some decent spells, and they're coming after. Let's see, looks like one apiece. That's fine. Second goblin target creature gets 1/1 until end of turn. All right. It's actually not bad. All right then. So we're gonna go ahead, drop another land. Now we're gonna go ahead and play our row guards. Alright, so with the help of the Basalt Monolith, the guards are coming down a turn early. But there's also nothing else we can really do, so we'll just go ahead, pass turn. We're not holding up any tricks, and we wouldn't have been able to untap a Basalt Monolith with only 2 mana. I've got no problem with telegraphing F8 right here. Gissa decides to go out with Liliana's Reaver. Death Touch. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card and he gets a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Onto the battlefield. Tapped. Yeah. So if she swung that at me, I'd either be discarding a card or losing my Keldorn. That's lovely. But if we get down the Angelic Voices next turn, then the Keldorn can at least trade with the Reaver. And that'll help discourage any sort of poking. The other good news is that even though Kranko and Olivia can destroy our artifacts, none of these decks will be able to touch our enchantments. Well, save for the odd, Chaos Warp. That's really more of an exception than anything else. Also, Angelic Voices is here because I realized that we don't really need Sarah Aviary because, holy crap, Angelic Voices is actually just better for us because it's not going to give our flying opponents +1/+1. And what the actual hell, Homelands? That means there's only one card from your set that actually made it into our deck. Granted, we could have tried the Abbey Gargoyle, but I took a look at what we were getting in the next couple of sets. That would have just come out really fast. And now Kranko's out. So let's go ahead and keep milling. Let's see if we can get our Archaeologist, or at least Felden's Cane. We can shuffle everything back into our deck anyway, or pull stuff out. There's the Altar of the Brood. Let's see. So Gravecrawler went in for Gissa. That's not really a downside. There's the Diagraph Colossus, which is an interesting choice for the zombie deck. I don't know if I actually ended up picking that or not. I want to say I did put it into Gissa. Oh, guy with the Exsanguinate. That's really good. But we lost Divine Intervention, which is not good. And Olivia's just losing more vampires. This really is just her vampire tribal. Which I've never really been impressed by the vampire tribal EDH decks. Like, maybe this is just me being a snob, but anytime I hear someone say, well, I want to build like the vampire deck and something like that, I'm just going like, it just feels so played out. Like, I get that for them it's new and exciting and it's cool and all that, but for me, but I blame it on the fact that back when I was in college, that's all anyone seemed to play was black vampires or black-red vampires, and we lost the Hoff and Mistress Workshop. Thank you for that. But yeah, just vampire decks all the time. I've seen it so many times. And I'm so tired of seeing the vampire tribal deck. Alright then, so let's go ahead, put down our land. We have Spirit Link. I don't think that's actually going to help us, especially now that, Altar of the Brood is out there. I can Wrath of God. but I don't think that's going to help us a lot. It'll slow him down a little bit, but then Krinko can just come down next turn. It's just started all over again. We'd be milling a lot less, but I don't think milling is actually what we want to worry about. We can get out the Enduring Renewal soon. Play with your hand revealed. If you would draw a card, reveal the top card of your library instead. If it's a creature card, put into your graveyard, otherwise draw a card. Whenever a creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return it to your hand. Yeah, I think we can afford to just keep building up our board. So we're going to go ahead, drop the Angelic Voices. I don't think there's anything I want to put Spirit Link on right now. So we're going to go ahead, tap it, F6. We don't want it F8. Because then we can't actually use our Royal Guard. But we do have an Anthem out, so we're going to see just how... We're going to see if it actually helps any of our creatures right now or not. We don't want to play Enduring Renewal because we haven't drawn into any real creatures. But... yeah, I don't know. Kranko's going to be really problematic, though, if we can't get rid of that Ultimate Brood. And honestly, unless Livy has something for it, I'm the only one who can really do anything about that. Alright, so there's the Mana Vault. Guess it has 5 floating, 6, 7. Noxious Ghoul. Alright. So all the non-zombies are going to get -1/-1 until end of turn. It's a good card for the zombie tribal deck. I just never liked it in Gissa because there was always the worry that Gissa would, you know, die from it. I mean, there's something to be said about neg-4ing a whole field or something like that, but... like, it's a great card for zombie tribal. It really is. It's just the trickiness of playing around it, because it's not a May. Just really, really tricky. Now, that is the good news, is that the Mog Raider can actually sack goblins to save Krinko. Gissa has 2 mana floating, though. Alright, so Noxious Ghoul is going to resolve. Everyone gets -1/-1, which is going to wipe out the Goblin Arsonist. No, the Mog Raider is actually using it on Krinko. So that does slow the goblins down a bit. But what Krinko needs to remember is that there is a Gravecrawler coming up. I guarantee you they're going to cast a Gravecrawler, because there's really no reason not to. Especially when you can just get them. Because if you cast the Gravecrawler, you can only save the Mog Raider. And then there's the Liliana's Reaver too. Animate Dead, targeting what? What is the Diagraph Colossus? Okay. And then he still has a Swamp. So that's going to bring back another zombie. Gravecrawler is going to come back, and oh, that's actually a nice interaction. So okay. So he's going to go for the Gravecrawler now, because casting the Gravecrawler would put a 2/2 zombie out. And then Gravecrawler will enter. Yep. Yep. And that will completely wipe the Goblin board. And our pitiful Royal Guard has been reduced to a -1/-2. And if the Reaver gets through, then that's going to be another 2/2 zombie. And my Royal Guard is going to be a -2/-1. So the Angelic Voice actually saved us. Yep, without that angelic voice, our Royal Guard would have been actually pretty dead right now. But now they're back to a 3-6. Alright then, good show, good show. I mean, without guessing that it actually is a fairly decent board removal. I might have to reconsider retooling Gissa just because of that. Let's see. So, Vampire Nighthawk is probably going to get shredded by that Noxious Ghoul next turn, though. Let's see. You can Wrath of God and... Let's see. Tormenting Voice? Why? Alright then, so we're going to go ahead, F6 through Kranko's turn. So Goblin Recruiter hits the board. And so does Altar the Brood. Okay. Then let's go ahead and take a look at what they're going to reveal. So, what's Goblin Recruiter grabbing? Well, come on, Recruiter. Come on, Kranko. This does beg the question now of just, do we want to Wrath now? Because unlike the Goblins where it's kind of a, they can rebuild anyway, this is more of a, hey, there actually is just kind of stuff that could keep wiping our board now. Now, if we take a look at the graveyard, we got Raving Dead, Sidisi. Stop that. Stop that. I mean, look at his graveyard. For frick's sake. Sure. Be that way. So, they can't really bring back a lot of stuff right now. They just use the Animate Dead on the Diagraph Colossus. You can cast more zombies, but until Gissa comes out, it's not going to be a whole lot. She does have 4 toughness. Here's the thing. Gissa only has 4 toughness. So she can't really sacrifice, like, say, the Diagraph Colossus for massive zombie value. She could sacrifice, like, the Gravecrawler and then neg-2 the whole field. She could do that for the 3. So I guess that's fine. And did Goblin Recruiter just whiff? I think he did. Let's see. So, oh, no. Let's see. Search your library for any number of cards. Reveal those cards. Shuffle them and put them on top of your library in order. So it's Goblin Lackey, Matron, Sharpshooter, Arms Dealer, Assassin, and War Chief. Alright, and at this point we're going to start laying down some Urza Tower. And I want to believe we could be safe, but we're probably not. Like I said, we can go ahead and throw down the Wrath of God to try and deal with the board as it is. I just don't know if that's going to be necessary or not. We got 6 mana open. That'd be enough to cast Avacyn once, hold up 1. I want to hold it for 1 more turn. With 1 more turn, we can go ahead and play Avacyn and keep up mana for her ability. That's my argument here. But, of course, Gissa might have other ideas. Right now she's dealing with her Mana Vault. So, what's Gissa going to do to us? Although she is letting that clock eat up her time quite a bit. She's now 2 minutes behind me, 5 minutes behind Olivia. Yeah, that's the other thing about the tribal vampire deck too. It was so common that I ended up making a deck that was entirely pro-black in order to. What do you mean it's free original match? There we go. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on one mo. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of a thing I needed to take care of. Going to the combats, that is fine. Now it's even through some of my turn. Gotta go ahead. Hit the phone to vibrate. So, okay. Heading over to Cranko. We've got Zombie. Zombie. Zombie! More zombies! So we're not going to worry about this. This is none of our business. We do have the Royal Guards on patrol, though. So, Lumion's River does hit. Go to discard. Zombie. It's going to get -1, -1. So that's a new zombie token, and oh, different zombie arts. How about that? Cranko down to 21. Olivia is currently sitting at 41. Not really doing a whole lot. She seems to be sitting back a little bit. And of course, you know what we're doing over here. Gessa has 4 cards in hand, not really committing anything to the board. I would imagine they're just going to keep some mana open so they can. They probably have instant speed stuff. Pyromancer's Goggle is coming down. That card got pricey a little bit. I want to say I have them in my new Mizzet deck. So what's Olivia got planned? Stormkirk Captain. Okay. First strike. Other vampires you control get +1/+1 and also have first strike. Which makes the Vampire Nighthawk very, very good on defense. Cranko currently complaining that he is feeling locked out of the game because of this Noxious Ghoul. I have to tell you that the Noxious Ghoul is in fact quite obnoxious. Here's the thing though. As a Cranko player, you're gonna have to find a way to deal with those constant wraths. Otherwise, you're just not gonna have a good time. This is where a nice good bolt would be very handy. You'd be surprised at how many things a bolt can kill. Like a Noxious Ghoul. Which, let's see, that looks like it's coming from Legion. So that'll be some interesting tech that we can get when we go to Gissa. Actually, again, one of the things that I'm thinking about doing... Oh, he's gone. Edelman scooped. Yeah, okay. That's fine. That is fine. Sure, we'll go with that. So it's the end of the turn. We're going to go ahead and untap that Basalt Monolith. Glad I remembered to do that. I'm not going to Wrath just yet, though. And they're going to untap their Basalt Monolith as well. Alright then. So okay, so we draw, land for turn. We are in fact going to cast our Avacyn now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not using Basalt Monolith to pay for because why would we? And then we're going to pass our turn after that. So we have our shield up to protect us from the incoming invasion of ghouls. Avacyn's going to have to poke them out of existence because she's definitely not getting past that Vampire Nighthawk. And we're just going to have to auto-yield to this Mana Vault. Which they aren't untapping, which, yeah, I can actually understand that quite a bit. Which I've also used it as just a Wrath effect. What really worries me is if they get that Gissa down. Now, they can't get Gissa down and try and wipe our board. the Cabal coffers. The mags at the coffers is definitely something we have to worry about. Okay, so they're going to the combats. I want to say he's going to be swinging a good amount over here, especially if he's realized that we can use the Royal Guards to kind of block all the things. Yeah, he can't attack through us. The Royal Guard and Avacyn have got our back. Because Avacyn's just going to give protection to him, and if he tries to swing like a Reaver or anything at us, it's actually just going to be dead. Now I can see him trying to cycle like the, I want to say Gem Palm zombie or something like that. You can cycle it and give everything neg 1, neg 1, based on how many zombies you have on the field. So we're going to be very quick and very swift with this. In fact, next turn we're going to throw the Spirit Link on top of Avacyn, and we're just going to have her start swinging at the Gissa player. Because again, she's not going to get through the Vampire Nighthawk until we get some sort of banding going. Oh, let's see. This isn't good. Because if they're swinging all out at the Gissa, then that means that we potentially have a Wrath coming up. And I did not get the Tanos' coffin down in time for that. Okay, so here's Moment of Truth. Is it going to be like a Blasphemous Act or anything like that? If it's a red-based Wrath, we can use Avacyn to protect the Royal Guard. If it's a Damnation or a anything like that, then we're in trouble. So here we go. It's going to be a Decree of Pain. Ouch! Okay then. So we have no way of saving our guys. So, alright then. We're going to let that happen. So Avacyn's gone. Everything gone. Gone, gone, gone. What's with this temporary zone? Yeah, well, Avacyn kept some major damage off of us for a single turn. And then there's the Animate Dead leaving the field. Of course, Olivia just also drew 16 cards. So now they're public enemy number 1. They draw their land. Phyrexian Reclamation comes out. And then we're going to see them discard a lot of cards. We can go ahead and play Avacyn next turn. But I feel like setting up for her will be a lot better. I still don't want to drop Enduring Renewal, though. So we're going to go ahead and hit our clamp step. This is noting for Enduring Renewal because... Ooh, Drenure Temple. This is going to count as points against Enduring Renewal, though, because it's a card that we want to have when we have a board state, but we need to get to that point where we have a board state first. So dropping a bunch of lands, dropping the cycling lands, so as to discard 4 more cards. Call to the Netherworld, Madness. And Macabre Waltz. Macabre Waltz, yes. There's Mountain. So just dropping a bunch of lands. And also Jaya Ballard. So definitely following up on that, that Madness sub-theme. I don't think you can actually pay for Call to the Netherworld, though, unless it was one of those ones that has 0 Madness cost. I don't think there was one. I don't think this is one of those, though. Oh, no, wait, it was. Return target black creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so you can get back Vampire Nighthawk. It chose Malakir Bloodwitch, which is fine. But now he has to discard a new card. And then they're going to discard... Was that Drana? Yeah, they discarded Drana. Alright, so we get another land. That's always good. We'll get down our Tanos' Coffin. And then we could throw down Avacyn right now. But again, don't want to do that. Not when we need to be able to keep up the Thomas's Coffin the Saver, which we will be able to do thanks to the mana that the Basalt Monolith is putting out for us. And with Gesso running light on only 3 cards, we're going to have to make sure we start poking the Olivia, especially since she just lost her Vampire Nighthawk. But with all those lands in the Phyrexian Reclamation, she can get that back no problem. And then we'll pass the turn. With the Olivia deck, that really makes me want to bring back my Buffy-themed deck. I called it Buffy because it was just a, mono-white play against all the mono-black decks. Pentarch Paladin. Let's see, what was it? Sunlands was in there, I'm pretty sure. Just think of it. Someone doesn't really understand Homelands' Coffin, apparently. The best way I can think of it is just, it's a hyperbolic time chamber type sleeper thing. So yeah, we can actually use this to keep them off of the really big things too. And we'll have to remember to be able to untap a Basalt Monolith. There's Dreadslaver. Whenever a creature dealt by Dreadslaver this turn dies, return it to the battlefield under your control. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other types. Which, very good zombie to have, especially when you play against a lot of smaller decks. And I think I'm actually going to save myself some trouble and untap Basalt Monolith now. Because, let's see, unless he plays a really problematic creature, the Thomas's Coffin is going to be used explicitly for saving Avacyn. So again, going with the Pyromancer's Goggles, is he actually going to use an instant or sorcery this time? Fiery Confluence, yes, he is. What's she going to do? Olivia is going to choose destroy target artifact, deal 2 damage to each opponent. Lovely. So, all of the artifacts are going kaputs. Yeah, okay. So we just lost our mana ramp power to save Avacyn. And then Solemn Simulacrum. That's all their mana, though. We need to find a way to get ourselves back into this game, which will might need like a Howling Mine or Land Tax or something. Land Tax would be pretty good right now because it's going to filter out our deck. Ivory Tower plus Land Tax would be really good, but we can't draw more than 1 card a turn. Hey, speak of the devil. Let's go ahead and just throw it out there. It gets us supercharged. Hopefully it stays out there long enough to actually do something for us. And actually, just go ahead. At this point, we don't have any instants we can play. So we're going to F8 it. Okay. If we can get into like a Library of Lane and Land Tax and Ivory Tower, those 3 cards, that'll help us out quite a bit. Now, here's the thing. The Dreadslaver is either going to get in for 3, or he's going to steal Solemn. I feel like he's actually going to keep the Solemn, though. That is to say, Olivia is not going to block with her Solemn. She's not going to give Gissa free land. Yep, takes the 3. Gissa dropping down. Zombie Trailblazer. Tap an untapped zombie you control. Target land becomes a swamp until end of turn. Tap an untapped zombie you control. Target creature gains Swamp Walk until end of turn. And then there's also Relentless Dead, which when it dies, you can pay a black to bring it back to your hand, but you can also pay X to bring back target zombie card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. So Olivia, supercharged, Herpter, Vampire Tribal or not, having pure card advantage ends up winning in the end. So we're going to have to, maneuver our way with Gissa here to try and take them down, because right now they've got us completely outnumbered advantage. So dropping Olivia, mobilized for war. Remember that she can discard a card whenever a creature enters the field to give that creature 1/1 haste and turn them into a vampire if they weren't already. So they become a vampire. Now, let's see. She's not going to keep Solemn back to block. She can start swinging Solemn at me, or even swing it over at Gissa, because then Gissa has to either take 2 or trade with the Relentless Dead or the Zombie Trailblazer. We can also hold our Spirit Link to try and put on one of Olivia's vampires if they play a vampire and it gets particularly big. But no, Olivia likes to stay on the defense, which means we're going to have not only our land drop, we can play the Archaeologist, which is really good. Let's see, what do we have artifact wise? We have Force Field and Tormod's Crypt. Also Basalt Monolith in the Coffin. So yeah, Archaeologist is going to get a lot of work for us in. And again, we could have played Avacyn. Much more important to get the Archaeologist going. Fortunately, Archaeologist gets bumped up to a 2/2 with the Angelic Voices. So he can at least trade with some stuff now if we really needed him to. And how did we get down to 15 minutes? That wasn't all from me taking care of business, was it? Gissa's down to 10. Olivia's at 18. Goodness. We're really going to have to pop this going. Colligan's command. 2 damage to target creature or player. Okay, so shooting down the zombie tracer, and he's getting back. Target zombie imposter and zombie trailblazer. So zombie imposter. It's a card in their graveyard. Not I can find it right now. Alright, so that happened. Probably would have been a little bit better to get the Relentless Dead, though, I think. Because the Relentless Dead can actually start bringing back some stuff. Let's see, was it only a zombie? Yeah, it's only another zombie. But that's still relevant. Then, like I said, we don't really have anything here, so we'll just F6 through their turn. Gissa's turn. And, yeah, there's no reason for Dreadslaver not to attack here. Neither's the Relentless Dead. We still want to take a look at... See, 6 mana? That's actually enough to bring back the Noxus School. So, Olivia's blocking Dreadslaver? What sort of tricks are they at? Urge Defeat. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. You may tap any number of untapped creatures you control. If you do, put 1/1 counter on each of those vampires. Alright, so a clever way to actually kill off Dreadslaver. Alright. So Slaver becomes an 0/2. Olivia is bumped up to a 4/4. Dreadslaver will die. Relentless Dead gets in there for 2. But Olivia doesn't particularly care right now. Because remember, she's still drawing 2 cards a turn, just like we are. Now, I guess it does have 4 cards in hand. Let's hope she has something that can help us out. No, she's going for some sort of instant play here. Or just using Reflexion Reclamation. Yeah, it gets back the Strong Kirk Captain. I feel like Gissa needed to come out then, though. Like, if they weren't going to block the Relentless Dead, Gissa can come out, pay black, sack the Relentless Dead, pay X, bring back the Noxious Ghoul. And I'll neg-2 some of the stuff. Dark Imposter comes out. That is a really good card. And unfortunately, with the Reclamation out, just wrathing the board isn't going to be enough to actually help us out. We need to have a way to disenchant that Reclamation first. Now, what's probably going to happen, I would imagine, the Imposter is going to get rid of Relentless Dead first. And then they're just going to keep them up. So we can just kind of start, buffing off everyone else. Right now, Olivia's shifted into kind of a control mode. And there's no reason not to. We have another Madness card here. A Silent Visitor. Beginning of each player's upkeep, that player has no cards in hand. You draw a card and you lose a life. So, some good, decent value there. Olivia has firm control of the game right now. We can wrath the board and slow her down. We need... What do we need? Tormod's Crypt? Tormod's Crypt is probably the best one. Let's see, Olivia's coming at me. Solemn over to Gissa, and that's really it. Tanos's Coffin. But we need... See, even if... We'd have to use the Dark Imposter this turn. Could get 1 use out of Phyrexian Reclamation, that's it. It does get rid of a lot of stuff that Olivia would want, though. Alright, so we have our Akashian Phalanx. That's the question, though. What do we get? Basalt Monolith can help us ramp up again. We can use that. We need to get rid of that Dark Imposter. Without that, they can't just snipe a bunch of stuff. So we'll grab the Tanos' Coffin for now. Alright, so we have the Coffin. We're going to go ahead and play that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go ahead and... Let's see. I want to say we can pass turn, but... I think we actually just have to pass turn and use the Tanos' Coffin reflexively. As in, wait until the end of their turn or something. Because we can go ahead and... Well... That's usually at the beginning of Gissa's up combat. Oh! Destroy Necromantic Selection! I think I know which one I want to use that for. Yeah, good thing we saved our Tanos' Coffin then. Because now the Dark Imposter has to exile that... Yep. Quick, get into the coffin. So, yep, escape pod. Tanos' coffin is in fact the escape pod. So, of those cards, Gissa's going to be able to get one back on her field as a zombie. Also, with Solemn Simulacrum, Olivia gets to draw one card. Let's see. Now, we're going to untap the Tanos' coffin, and the Archaeologist is going to come back tapped. But that's much preferred to the Archaeologist just being bumped off. So, let's see, what's she picking from? I would think she would want the Imposter, right? Yeah. No, she goes for the Solemn Simulacrum, which is now a green zombie. Or a black zombie. Alright then. So, decent play. Board wipe when we needed to, and we still have ours. The problem, again, comes from the fact that Phyrexian Reclamation is right there. Reclamation is a super good card, because it just gives you so much resistance to those board wipes. Fortunately, we are drawing 2 cards a turn. Hopefully, that will mean drawing into Disenchant soon. We still have 68 cards in our deck, though. And definitely thinking a food break after this will be warranted. Now, Olivia's up to bat. So Olivia's already been cast a couple times today. Coming out today for 7 mana. Let's see, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. But of course, Olivia just has all the mana right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? 11 lands? Yeah, and we've got less than that right now. So I'm not sure how relevant having land tax will be soon, but the sooner the better. Stensia Masquerade is discarded, so that's definitely one of the newer Madness cards. Enchantment. Attacking creatures you control have first strike. Whenever a vampire creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on it. Not bad. So there are some pretty decent Madness cards to have here. First strike does have haste. Probably gonna swing at me. Yep, this is an ouch. So we kind of have to take the 3, which means that Stormcloak is going to get a little bigger. So now it's our turn. Going to untap. Yes, we will untap Tanos' coffin. Ivory Tower, that does help. Alright, so there's that. We can put out the Cashing Phalanx. Not going to help as much. I want to go ahead and say... Just hold it. Nah, this seems like the right time to go ahead and cast Avacyn again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, Avacyn's back out. We have 2 mana open. Let's go ahead and pass turn. Although, that kind of actually defeats the point of having the Tanos' coffin. Damn, I'm fucking up. Yeah, we should have held on to the Ivory Tower. Should have held on to the Ivory Tower, then we could have kept Tanos' coffin open to save Avacyn. Was not thinking. Not at all. Like for what? For 1 life? For 1 life? We early played Ivory Tower, just didn't think it through. Nope, not at all. Hopefully, Avacyn doesn't die right away. Instead, we get the Crypt Gas, so that's going to double the mana right here, which is really good. 4 cards in hand. All the mana, 12. Yeesh! Oh, dear lord. What they just... It's got to be an X-Spell, right? Dread Summons. Each player puts an X top cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. And then they're going to get a black zombie for each one. Alright then, so we just lost... Oh, what did we just lose? Sky Captain, Dust to Dust, Wall of Swords, Shield Bearer. Okay, so... Okay. We didn't lose a lot. In fact, I got rid of a lot of dead draws for us. Yep. So 10 zombies. Gissa's doing a good job of making sure that she is still relevant. And let's see, we can go ahead and keep Gissa off of, black damage. What we need to do is we need to kill Olivia because she has way too many resources at her disposal. She literally has a wealth of resources that we just can't deal with. Each creature deals damage to its controller. Ouch. Oh, wow, I think that actually just... Wow. Alright then, well played. Rakdos Charm actually just murders Gissa. Wow. Double Rakdos Charm for the win. So now it's us versus Olivia. And see, that's a Bloodstain Mire. It's fine. We can go ahead and use Holy Day to prevent some damage to us. We need to get Phalanx down. We can use Holy Day to save us, but I want to save that for an Alpha Strike. Although with the fact that we're at 24, wouldn't be a bad idea to use it now. Oh, Butcher Malakir, that's going to be really bad for us. We just need to get rid of that Phyrexian Reclamation. Oh no, not the big game hunter! Son of a jerk. And we can't use Tanos' Coffin to save. Bah! On the one hand, though, we may have a tech play here. So we're going to use Holy Day to save our life this turn. Avacyn's been blown up because we just weren't smart enough to not play the Ivory Tower. Because we can't math! Oh yeah, we definitely need to use Holy Day here. It's got 1, 2... Can only save 2 creatures? Yeah. There's no reason for not to attack with everything. Alright, Holy Day. That'll save us some trouble. The Archaeologist is going to get back our Tormod's Crypt. And that will seriously stunt the Reclamation. Alright. It's 2 mana. No? Alright, no, he's doing the smart thing. See, someone who can like him is exiled for good. Call the Bloodline. Alright, so if he uses it, then he can't Reclamation. It doesn't look like he's going to let us do that, though. Or at least not get a free one. Alright, so Ivory Tower is going to bump us up 0 life for now. Hand of Justice and a Kashin down. Not bad. But we got some other stuff we need to do first. Get back that Tormod's crypt. Alright then, we'll go ahead and let's see. Actually, you know what? I think it'll be worth it long run if we do it this way. Actually, we can go ahead and 1, 2, 3. Alright, we're going to put the archaeologist into the pod. Wrath of God, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Love the Tanos' coffin. Let's see. So Malakir is going to go off. That's fine. Phyrexian Reclamation is going to bring back what exactly? If they can bring back any one thing, what are they going to bring back? Targeting Necropolis Regent. What's the Necropolis Regent? Ah! Shoot! Might have been able to get him if I had done that. What's the Necropolis Regent? Necropolis Regent is the... Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put that many 1/1 counters on it. Alright, it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. I mean, the way this is going, they might have gotten it anyway, but it's whatever. But we have to pop the Tormod's Crypt now. Otherwise, the Reclamation is just way too good. So, we got rid of that. We have 1 mana floating. We're going to go ahead and just pass turn. Come on, pass turn. Pass turn. And then we're going to F6 through their turn because we don't have anything we can do. Now, they're still drawing 2 cards a turn, just as we are, but they have the clear advantage. We need to get down our Hand of Justice on the next turn. I love the Tanos' Coffin. A+. Such tech plays. Very well. Now we're still at 24, they're still at 30. But they do also have a lot of lands. There's Olivia. Like I said, we need to get Hand of Justice down next turn, so that's going to be our top priority. We have 9, 10 lands right now. That's going to be important to remember. What's also important to remember is that the Necropolis region actually just smacked us for a crap ton. The good news is Tanos' Coffin can go ahead and deal with that. No, we don't have any way to deal with it right now. So, just smacked us for a crap ton. Got really big. We will untap Tanos' Coffin. Okay, so we have Archaeologist. Pit Trap isn't going to do anything, but Land Tax is. Go ahead and get the Justice out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have 4 left over. Alright, we can do this. We can go ahead and play our Land Tax. And still have mana open for Tanos' Coffin. Pass turn. Alright, Howling Mine, getting some work in. Now, the Call of the Bloodline, it does feed the Call of the Bloodline. They can just start making a crap ton of tokens. Let's hope they don't have a kill spell for the Hand of Justice, because I would really... I'm going to have to use... It's not cool. I have to actually use the Thomas's Coffin on... Yeah. Alright, so what's going to be... Are they both... No, he's actually just killing both of them off. And I have to let that happen. Which sucks. Those goggles are really good. And there's the Malakir Blood Witch, which has protection from white. There's my field. It's going to drain me for 3. I mean, I guess I could have saved myself 1. It's going to hurt like the dickens. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, put that vampire inside the coffin. And we're going to get smacked for 8. We need Avacyn to save us. But Avacyn just keeps dying. Down to 3 cards now. And we don't want to untap our Tanos' Coffin now. Oh, there's an Ob Nix list. That's just insult to injury. Ah, the Blood Crypt. I am not going to untap target permanent. Hold on. Yeah, not going to untap. So we're going to go ahead and I need to do this so that Ivory Tower goes up first. Always yes, always yield. We'll go ahead and grab our 3 planes. Ivory Tower is going to try and get some life. Alright then, we got Bestiary. That helps. You know what also helps? Having dudes and things. We can't enchant Malakir Blood, which we can attempt to enchant Olivia, though. Ah, that's the thing. We can't. We might actually just die from that stupid Blood Witch. Then, how are we going to do this? Well, we can go ahead and throw this onto Olivia. She can still trigger. Let's go ahead and throw out the priest now. Get the preacher going. We have 7 cards in hand. And again, Pit Trap's not going to do anything here, so let's just pass our turn. Alright then. Now we're starting to get the advantage. Unfortunately, it comes at the toll of we can't actually do anything. Also, why didn't I go ahead and play the Akeshian Town? I should have played the Akeshian Town. Alright, there's Bloodline Keeper. Yep. Of course, Olivia's going to trigger there, too. So now it has the haste. Madness. Ah! Their madness value cards are better than I would have given them credit for. In this battlefield, you may return target creature from a graveyard to its owner's hand. What does he have in his graveyard? Doesn't really have anything. But it's yet another card. Ah, I could have gotten down the Phalanx too. I wasn't thinking. So I guess we're going to see. You may return target creature card. So they don't actually have to give us anything. And at this point... Son of a jerk. 10, 13. That's going to be lethal. Figures the... Okay, so if we manage to live this turn, we are actually just dropping a bunch of things on the table. Son of a jerk! No, we're actually just dead now. We're dead because I didn't play the Akeshian Town. Killed by something as lame as the Tribal Vampire deck. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry that sounded mean, but it actually just is lame. And again, just because I've seen it so many times. And now we're actually just dead. That Decree of Pain is what really put it away. What really got Olivia ahead. Alright, so that was game number 1. Let's go ahead and take a short break, and we'll be right back with game number 2.